Of the four, how many of them did you expect to be racing for the final?
I was a little bit surprised by Christopher Bell and Ross Chastain. I think that Ross had overachieved this year, so him getting all the way to this moment, I didn't really see that happening for that team. They had kind of struggled a little bit late summer with pace and speed, so I wasn't sure in the playoffs if they could do the necessary things to move forward. But they actually, rekindled that same performance that they had earlier in the year. He had 3 top fives in a row leading up to this race and just had a lot of great pace and speed. Raced really smart and was able to make it happen. So that was a bit surprising. And obviously Christopher Bell winning 2 races, basically walk-off home runs to get into each round and continue to move forward in must-win situations. I don't think any of us saw that coming from that team, from that driver, but they have been able to make it happen. And, it's exciting for him because I think we've all wanted to see Christopher evolve into one of the top elite drivers in the series. And it's just been a process for him to get there, but here they are. But definitely 2 guys that I didn't have in my Final Four.
Do you like the final at Phoenix instead of at Homestead?
Well, I think it's tough to really say where the final race should be. Every track is going to cater to a certain team, manufacturer, and driver. You can never have the perfect scenario. So I think it would be, I think it's great to have it in the same venue for a few years, but eventually, yes, it should move. We should always be sort of moving this around to keep it fresh, but also to challenge the teams. They, when you lay this playbook out in front of them and they know that Phoenix is the ultimate goal, they design their strategy around that. And so I think every 3 years or so, we should definitely change the playbook. And we should continue to move it to certain venues and keep the teams challenged. But it's been a great place for the final. It's a great facility. There's been a lot of upgrades and things done to Phoenix to make it a track and a facility worthy of such an event. So I've enjoyed it being here. Homestead is a lot of fun, but I love Homestead in the playoffs. I did not like it when they moved Homestead to the early part of the year. It really, really lost a lot of its value to me. But now that it's in the playoffs, I really feel great about it. It doesn't have to be the finale, but I do like that track to be later in this season. It's great weather down in Florida in the fall, and good place for us to go race. And the drivers love it. But that's my feelings about it.
A week later, I think everybody's still talking about the Ross Chastain move. Had you seen anything like that?
I can't really remember seeing anything exactly like that in my life. And, it's I felt like, I'm a little bit surprised, but not surprised. We called it a video game move, and it's absolutely inspired by what you might see in that environment in the video game world. And I, being a sim racer, being a gamer for decades, that part of me doesn't really seem too surprised by it, because I've often seen in many, many instances where the art imitates life and vice versa. And so there'll be times when we're doing things on our sims that don't make any sense, but in a simulated world, you can attempt it. And so you'll try it, it'll work, and then you'll take it into the real world and see the results mimic what you saw in the simulation. So, that this is a very, very extreme case of that, obviously. And Ross even says that he wouldn't really want to be in a position where he had to try that again. It was very uncomfortable and physically difficult. But I do love that he moved the line. He moved the standard for what guys are willing to do to have a chance to win a championship. And he placed a new value on getting to the Final Four. He not only did something incredible for himself, he made himself a household name overnight. He also moved the sport forward in a lot of areas. He exposed us to a lot of people who aren't NASCAR fans, and he also placed a new value on winning a championship or even having a chance to go win a championship in this final event.
That was all over social media immediately. And something like that catches fire. Can that simple act bring new fans in to NASCAR?
That simple moment can captivate a new audience. It can have, it can have people looking into either attending a race or watching a race or seeing if they can witness something like that in person. That's really what maybe a lot of people might do, is say, I need to go to an event for myself. I need to see this for myself. And so, you're probably going to have people that'll tune in and watch it on TV, but you may have a lot more people that are buying tickets when NASCAR's in their town, in their neighborhood, in their vicinity, that weren't buying tickets last year. And so, there's no question that, when you have something that becomes so popular, so many views, you're going to have people that are curious and interested, and they're going to seek us out.
You'll probably get this question from everybody. Who's going to win it?
I feel really good about Chase Elliott's chances after watching practice yesterday. They were really fast in practice. I thought Joey's car was right there, able to match what Chase was able to do on the racetrack yesterday. Ross Chastain was very fast in the very first few laps, but after about 10 or 15, 20 laps, Ross was struggling to match the pace of the 9 and the 22. So he's just a little bit off on the long run. And Christopher Bell struggled in practice. He didn't put down a fast lap, didn't really seem to have great long run speed. They're just a little bit off. That they're going to need to work on that car, and they've had plenty of time to make some adjustments to get him the speed that he needs. So all of that could change after practice, but when I watched practice, to me it looked like if Chase Elliott can get control of the race, he will win. If for whatever reason on a late pit stop, the 22 of Joe Logano and maybe the 1 were able to get that track position, they would probably be able to hold off the 9 or hold each other off. It's really going to come down to a final pit stop. We saw this last year. You're going to have, whoever can get off pit road first really has a great shot at it. But if you line all 4 cars up and just say go, I think that Chase has more speed than any of the other 3.
All right. Last question. Christmas is coming up. People are buying gifts. Tell me about your book.
Oh, yeah. Buster's Trip to Victory Lane. It's a children's book that I wrote. You can find it anywhere books are sold. I've been reading it to my girls and seeing a lot of people sharing on social media about how much they love it and how much their kids love it. It's a new venture for me and a new challenge to try to write something that's compelling and exciting for kids. We've got an amazing artist that helped us put a great book together, and we're already working on book number 2. So Buster is a great character. I designed Buster based off of a dirt car that my dad drove in the 70s. Buster is there's a lot of links to my life, and there's a lot of Easter eggs in the book that connect to me. So that's a lot of fun to kind of plug those in, and all the nicknames and various personalities in the book all come from something in my life and or someone that I know. And so that's a lot of fun, and the art is amazing. I saw my uncle the other day, and he was one of the guys that built this race car in 1970 in my grandfather's garage. And I said, "Did you ever think when you were working on that race car that it would one day be the star of a children's book?" And so that to me is a great thing about it. My uncle was floored when I handed him the book, and I said, "This character is inspired by that race car that you built back in 1975, 76." So pretty cool to be able to do things like that and have some fun with it. And I love the fact that people enjoy it, and the kids all across the country are reading it.